Can't tell you. I'm sure I'm going to have to admit a whole bunch of people who are like, what just happened? Okay. So as I was saying, Convo, other learning. So there are 3 in every, you have to take Convos for 6 semesters and pass it for 6 semesters. In each Convo semester, there are 3 different things that don't fit into other learning, like hearing loss or nutrition or performance anxiety. Then there are things that relate to writing a resume for yourself, or how do you proofread your own concert program for when you do your recital, those kinds of things. There is Dr. Harris. Great, we will let him say hello in a moment. There are other bits and pieces, like reflecting on a performance by somebody. That's what you're going to do this semester. You're going to talk to another musician and reflect on their performance, not so much a concert review, like how good were they, but learn something about performing. Think about the audience, or think about technique versus emotion and things like that. So that's what sort of Convo incorporates overall. Now I'm going to, in a minute, assuming my connection stays stable, I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see where to find out all this information about, like, how do I do that? But I see that Dr. Harris has logged on, and so we will let Dr. Harris offer you some opening Convo greetings. Dr. Harris.
Uh-oh. Miss Tommy and Professor Gud just stepped into my office, so we were about to have a confab, and then I was going to run back over here. So they'll say hi.
Okay, great. There's Mrs. Tommy. There's Professor Gud.
So nothing happens at the Schwab School of Music without these 2 people. So,
yes.
And Dr. Hansen is the 3rd of the triumvirate, so you've now met the brain trust of the entire organization. So.
I don't know about that, but okay.
And it's Friday afternoon, so we're all stealing ourselves, because we have an in-joke at the Schwab School of Music that there's often a Friday afternoon surprise in the office. So we're anxiously awaiting to see what the surprise is. Something will walk in the office that will either be terrifically great news or sometimes a big challenging issue, but we're hoping for great news this cycle. But at any rate, so Dr. Hansen, this is a completely different group from the group at 2:30?
Yes, it is. Well, this is the first year students section of Convo.
Oh, so now I'm going to tell you about what you don't know that you're missing, which is a big splashy opening Convo. In fact, typically we have an opening Convo that's all pomp and circumstance and greetings from the president and the provost of the institution, and some performances, and then a whole lot of fun with a barbecue out on the pavement right in front of our building. I really regret that we don't get to do that this year, because it's one of my favorite things. It's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to kick off a semester. But we're going to work really hard, and if we are able to, we'll do something parallel at the end of this semester that'll be a big whoop-de-doo, or at least at the end of this academic year. So we'll look forward to that and a chance to celebrate good stuff together. We're absolutely thrilled and delighted that you have chosen the Schwab School of Music, and remember that you're here because you chose us, and you're here because we chose you, because we saw in you the kind of potential that we're looking for in new students to join the Schwab School of Music. That is, people who are really dedicated to hard work, to honing their craft, to growing as artists, and to collaborating and working collaboratively with so many other students from literally all over the world at this point. So it's a really exciting place to be. It's an exciting place for us to work, those of us who work here. And I think you'll find it's an exciting place for you to be as well. One of the things that suddenly dawned on me as we hit Friday of this first week is that I insisted that all of my faculty colleagues develop virtual office hours and post them, and I haven't done the same. I'm so used to having an open door policy where everybody can swing by, and if I can't see you right then, I'll make an appointment and we'll talk as soon as we possibly can. So I'll make a point early in the week, next week, of getting some hours up. If you want to drop by then virtually and say hello, or you have a concern about how things are going, or you just want to tell me about something great that's happened, like you've won a composition competition or something like that, I would be delighted to talk with you. So I'll get some virtual office hours up so that you can feel free to let me know what's going on. But in the meantime, I'm really just really want to welcome all of you and say that we're really excited that you're here. And I'm the person who gets to read the description of all of the incoming students carefully before we send you an acceptance letter. And it's a cliche to say this is a really, really impressive class, but man, this is a really, really impressive class. So we're delighted to hear that you're here, and expect to do great things alongside you. So welcome.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Harris. Okay. So let me, while we're doing some sort of welcoming things, before I take you into screen share, I forgot to say that I'm recording this meeting as well so that I can post it for people who couldn't make it. And also, if you have a question, like I say something too fast or the connection breaks up or whatever, you can type it in the chat and I will get to it. So that'll be great. I want to also welcome or I'll let you know something you may have seen in an email. And I could start by talking about emails. It's really, really urgent that you check your CSU email often, because I often send multiple emails to students in a week that have things to do with registration or deadlines or whatever. Mrs. Tommy sends information out. So if you are not in the habit of checking your CSU email, please do that. The other thing to check is your Cougar View. Each course that you're registered for, you need to make a habit of looking in Cougar View for updates and announcements and things like that every single time. So that would be what I would suggest. Brain going blank. What was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about, yes. So we had in the previous meeting, we had some greetings from several different organizations. So I'll mention those here. CNAFME is the Collegiate Society of Future Music Educators. And so music education students, you might be very interested. You don't actually have to be an ed major to be interested in CNAFME. If you foresee that teaching in some way is in your future, they do a lot of cool activities. And Cassidy Jackson is the CNAFME president this year. Brandon Tharp, I think, and Nick Toole are officers in the men's fraternity, Phi Mu Alpha Symphonia. And so they are, they welcome you in a normal semester. They do a lot along with Sigma Alpha Iota. They do a lot of concert ushering and service for the department. And so I know we'll be hearing more from them as the semester goes on. So that's Phi Mu Alpha Symphonia. And then the women's organization is Sigma Alpha Iota. And those are service fraternities related to music. So they're not true Greek organizations, they're service organizations. And finally, we have a new group that we're very, very excited about, and that is the Black Schwob Society. Over the summer, we had some amazing conversations on social media from former and current students of Schwob who wanted find a way to express their experience as Black musicians, as Black Americans, and also for those of us who are not Black to say, how can I be an advocate? How can I be an ally? And share not just this is the way we've always done it, but say, hey, look at all the possibilities that are before us as musicians. Because it's clear that we as musicians should not be prevented from any aspect of our music making by the color of our skin, or how rich or poor we are, or where we're from, or what language we speak first. None of that should have any bearing on how awesome we can become as musicians. And so one of the great ways to address that, I think, is going to be through the Black Schwab Society. So it is open to everyone to join. I know they're having a meeting by the fountain, I believe, on Monday, the 24th of August. And I will send an email around, although I think you may have already gotten one, about for the different officers. You can connect and join that organization through CSU Involve. So there's lots of ways to kind of hook up with them. And I think they're going to have like a weekly Wednesday meeting. We are going to be hearing more from that society over the course of the semester. One of our Convo activities, our podcasts for Convo, is going to be a panel discussion from 3 musicians who are going to talk to us about their experiences as Black American musicians and what their experiences have been like, what they see as challenges for our profession of art music, which is kind of where we are in the conservatory, and other thoughts. So that's going to be a live chat so that you can actually ask questions. And if you can't make it to that discussion, it will be also turned into a podcast, which brings me to my How to Convo topic. So I'm gonna segue to that, if that's all right. And I'm gonna share my screen, yes, which is pretty messy, as you can see. Okay, so I'm gonna start first by showing you, here's what convocation looks like. This is actually the other Convo section, but it doesn't matter. It's all kind of the same. So on the front page of the Cougar View for Convo, and I'm showing you this because probably every professor has a different way of setting up their Cougar View page. I really try to make mine as like, here's what to do, be logical. That's my goal, is to have everything you need kind of in the right place. So when you first log into Cougar View, you should see some announcements. And I'll keep these cleaned out, so I'll take out the old ones. And it'll tell you like, hey, here's the Zoom link for something or whatever. And I'll email that to you as well, but that's where that stuff is. If I click on content, here is the content for Convo. And yours might look slightly different from this, but it's pretty similar. So if you notice in the table of contents, it says organizing for fall 2020. Oh, I should click on this page. And so I do. And voila, here is how Convo is going to work. Let me take you through this step by step. I'll try not to be too wordy, and you can always read it at your own leisure if you want to before you ask me questions. It's fine. So 3 prongs to Convo success. Prong 1. You will attend sometime during the semester 5 Convo podcast live stream things. These are the Friday Convo things. Now, we will not be physically sitting in the audience on Friday at 2:30. And you do not actually have to do them on Friday at 2:30. You can always do them afterwards by clicking on the link. So it's okay if you've got another class scheduled or a lesson or something like that or whatever, because I know people are going to nibble away at your time with Zoom meetings like this, for example. Okay, so each of those things, there will be more than 5 of them. So if you miss one, it's not a big deal. If you miss 2 or 3, my goal is to have one every week. And so by the time you get to November 24th, you've got 5. So you don't even have to do it every week. It's totally cool. You will log your attendance at that event by filling out a little quiz. For example, I'll just stick with me here. I'll show you where that is. Logging attendance. And then here's Friday Convo, other concerts. Convo attendance quiz. Now, when you click on this quiz, it will take you to a little quiz. It's not a big deal. Like for today, the question on the quiz is, what is the answer to the question? And I'm going to tell you the answer, and I will tell it again to you. The answer is Dr. Hansen's cup of tea. That is the secret answer to today's attendance question. Dr. Hansen's cup of tea. And believe me, it's one of the most terrible cups of tea I have made so far today. I will say that again at the end, so in case you didn't get it, I will type it out for you. That's how you will take the quiz, and you just type in Dr. Hansen's cup of tea, and I will log your attendance for today. It's that easy. Every time we have one of those Friday podcasty things, It will show up here on Cougar View. I'm pointing at the screen like you can see my screen, me pointing. Anyway, it will show up here on Cougar View as a little quiz. And so if you've attended that thing, even a week later, you would be able to get credit for it. That's the first prong, Friday things, okay? I'm gonna go back to the organizer. The second thing is concert events. Now it says 4 other Schwob concerts. As a matter of fact, it doesn't have to be Schwob concerts. It can be 4 other, anything that is live recorded or live streamed. What I don't really want you to do is watch some YouTube video that's been carefully edited and put together. I want you to watch things that are live so that you can think about live performance versus studio sessions, which is a whole different kettle of fish, okay? You are going to do 4 live events. Those could be Schwob concerts that you sit and watch live stream. It could even be, if you're lucky enough to get into the audience for the wind ensemble concert, it could be one of those. And I tell you how to log that attendance. Those 4 things, you will log your attendance by a Google form, and that Google form will be linked in Cougar View because I'm putting everything in Cougar View for you so that it's a one-stop shop mostly. Okay, so 4 other events. And you submit your Google form, I put your attendance in, and you can check your attendance in Cougar View and say, oh, how many did I get done? If you look up your attendance record or your grades in Convo, it'll tell you that, okay? So 5 Friday things, like today counts as one of those, woohoo! And 4 other things. You could get them done as quickly as you want. If you want to get this stuff done before the middle of the semester, gosh, I would just love you for that. But I understand if you need to just, space it out. Okay. The third Convo prong are these other modules, and I'm going to click on those in just a moment, but here they're listed here. One has to do with nutrition, and it uses an ebook called Wellness for Musicians. Wellness for Musicians is listed as the course textbook for Convo, so it should be available to purchase in the bookstore. If it's not, or you want to, you can purchase it from the publisher. The information is listed in the syllabus for Convo, okay? And I can certainly send that around by email as well. You buy this book one time and you use it for all 6 semesters of Convo. Now here's the thing, the publisher requires me to verify that each person has their own copy. You can't share, because that's the agreement, that's how they agree to publish it, is that it has to be worth their while money-wise, okay? But I need them to publish it because I can't create such a book on my own. So I will be sending to you guys who are first-time Convo people, I will be sending to you information on how you tell me, how you let me know that you have purchased this book, and then I will unlock the quiz for the nutrition chapter. So you read the chapter, I unlock the quiz, you take the quiz, you get 80% or higher. It's not a very hard quiz. This is a 0 credit class. I get it. But you take the quiz, you get 80% or higher, great. What happens if you get less than 80%? I email you and say, read that chapter again. And you do, and I let you take the quiz again and again and again until you actually pass it with 80% or higher. So this is really, really meant for you to actually learn the stuff. Okay. Second item here. You will proofread a program full of typing errors and locate and describe those errors. I am going to go right into these modules now. Learning modules. Okay, here is Wellness for Musicians. That tells you what chapter to read and how to take the quiz. I'm going to skip down to program proofing. Oh, look, there's a page that says how to do it. This page describes what a good concert program looks like. And so you skim this page, like you have to have the dates and you have to have this in the title and spell this right or whatever. And once you read that page and feel okay with it, then you choose one of these fake programs I made. And as I recall, they're like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck performing different concert actual pieces of music. And they have errors. And you're going to find the errors and locate them on the program. And I've given you instructions on how you can do that, either by printing it out and circling it and scanning it back, or other ways. There's lots of ways you can show me that you know what the errors are. That's all. And then you submit this back in Cougar View as an assignment. Not too scary. And we can talk about it later. If it confuses you, I am here to help. Okay, the third thing that you do is a little reflection on performance, because we should say to ourselves, why are we watching performers? So by the end of the semester, you will read this little reflection, and then you will write 3 short paragraphs. Doesn't have to be a whole essay, just 3 short paragraphs that answer this question, and you submit it in Cougar View. And then you do all those things, and I give you a grade of satisfactory for the semester. Convo done. Yeah? Okay, let's see. As far as performing on Convo, how to perform on Convo in a pandemic, there will be a way. Oh, I haven't even done it yet. I won't show you that page. I'm going to stop screen sharing because I forgot I haven't gotten that far. That's what the weekend is for. So basically, if you wish to perform on Convo, there are a couple ways we can make it work in this distance situation. Potentially, if someone has, say, a piece that lasts 20 or 30 minutes, you can submit a request to me through Sign Up Genius that says, I would like to live stream and perform on Convo on a particular date, on a Friday. Now, and then we'll make that happen. Or what probably I think more people are going to do is you can record a performance anytime, and you will have a folder that you can submit that performance to. And then Jelani, who is my Convo helpful wizard, he and I will make it into a podcast of Convo performances. So it could have, you know, like 5 of you playing each a short little piece, and it's sort of like a movie of Convo performances. And you can watch that and get credit for it. So it is possible to perform in Convo yourselves, even if we are not all gathered in studio theater. Okay, and as I say, then we're going to have some panelists, we're going to have some alumni performing, we've got some faculty that want to give lecture demonstrations and things like that. So I think it'll actually be a pretty interesting semester of Convo, and the requirements are lighter than they normally would be because, wow, here we all are kind of doing virtual Convo. Phew, I know I talked a lot and I talked very fast. Questions from anyone? I'm going to say the answer to the question of attendance in just a moment, but questions about what I just said, you can either type them or unmute and ask. Okay, while you're thinking about that, let me briefly mention more things about freshman learning community. And I already emailed you about this, but I'll say it again. So the freshman learning community, all of you folks who are in the freshman learning community or first year students, I'm making little groups, quartets, so to speak, with a returning student as a mentor, and then 3 or 4 of you in a group, so that if you have questions about, like, how do I pay my parking ticket? Or I locked myself out of a practice room and my card is in there, what do I do? Or any kind of stuff that you just think, how am I supposed to know this? Then your mentor can help you with that. And it could even be things like, I need a tutor for theory. By the way, I am the permanent tutor for theory and skills, but we will also have lots of peer tutors as well. And I'll talk more about that in a moment too. So these freshman learning groups are there to help you. Some of our mentors for this have really exciting topics that they want to present on, like how to register to vote, or where can you turn in an absentee ballot if you have one. It's Fallon Lowry and Jane Smith. But also, I think they also have other mentors have other things that they're really keen to show you. It could be things like, how do you wash your mask and dry it out so that it doesn't smell like old socks the next day? It could be, you know, where do I go in Columbus to renew my driver's license, or anything like that. So I will update you periodically. When it comes time for advising for spring classes, which comes, yeah, that's fine, Austin, you go ahead. I know I'm over my time, so I'm going to finish up as quick as I can here. When it comes time to advising for classes, I will have some sessions where I need you to attend. in your group, and you will hear from the upperclassmen who will help you plan your schedule, as well as me helping you plan your schedule, like I planned your fall schedule. So, so those are freshman learning community things. Speaking of tutoring, I know that for many of you who are in Skills 1 right now, or if you are waiting to take foundations in the spring, one of the most daunting tasks that you learn to do maybe as music majors is singing, and singing solfege and sight singing. That seems to be maybe the thing that people are like, wow, I really don't know what to do about that. So I am going to schedule some regular little singing sessions. If you're in Skills or you're not in Skills, you can sign into those. I just thought of doing it like an hour ago. So I'm not sure how it's going to work yet. But that's what the weekend is for. I'm going to figure it out. And I might just record myself and you can sort of sing along with me as a recording, or it may be a live Zoom thing. I haven't decided yet, but I'll let you know. So if you're having especially trouble with singing in oral skills, or you're not in oral skills yet and you want to really prep for it, I would love to have you attend that. That would be totally, totally great. I can also tutor you theory. With theory, we can set up some times. I got myself a cool new tablet that lets me write on staff paper in real time on the screen. So that's kind of exciting. And I did that because I knew some people might need some help. Let's see. And the provost has asked me to remind all first-year students of the upcoming, I think it's the 31st, the freshman convocation, August 31st. It's a campus-wide thing that all the freshmen can attend. It's by Zoom. I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. I don't think so. But anyway, I'll email you about that, and, you know, woohoo. So that's that. I know that was a ton of information. I feel like I just keep pouring information at you, hoping that some of it will stick, and I'm sorry about it, but I can't really help it. Do you have any other questions that you would like me to answer? It could be about Convo, it could be maybe about other Schwab things. I'll do my best. Happy to do that.
I was looking on Cougar View because I have my screen side by side.
Yeah.
Is everything just not published yet?
As far as in Convo, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's pretty, it's still, it's still in its infancy. The important things should be there unless maybe I didn't, I wonder if I didn't copy it over yet to one of the sections. I will double check that.
Okay.
Things like the attendance quiz for today, I will make sure that's there in about 20 minutes if it's not already. Yeah, I'll make sure that's there. And then things will update as I manage to get them organized. And I'm sorry it's not all just right there. So today's secret question, the answer to today's secret question is Dr. Hansen's cup of tea. That's what you type in the secret question field, Dr. Hansen's cup of tea. And I will put that in there, but I don't think I've updated it for all those Convo sections yet. So that'll be under quizzes, and you can do that. Yeah, the quiz isn't posted. I think I got it before this meeting started. I got it posted to one of my 3 Convo sections. So I will post it in yours as well. Just give me a moment. The whole summer was, of course, planning how you guys were going to actually be music majors in a pandemic. And so my own classes are like, oh, maybe I should have class or something. Yeah. So that's why I'm a little behind. Other questions? No? Okay. I will stay on for a few minutes in case there's anybody with a question. And I will give me about 20 minutes to get that Convo quiz updated for you. And then you can answer Dr. Hansen's cup of tea, and I will log your attendance. And so you will have accomplished one of the 5 Friday event things already just by being here. So great. Okay, so if you want to log off, you are free to do that. If you want to stick around and ask a question, you can do that too.